I don't recall ever having a packed house like this for the last meeting in December. Thank you for joining us this evening. This is the City Council meeting for the public hearing on December 18th, 2023, City of Alpharetta. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. A note for the record that all members of council are present and accounted for, except for Councilman Binder and Councilman Mitchell. I believe we're expecting Councilman Mitchell. I don't think Councilman Binder will be available this evening. And it looks like we have a Boy Scout troop here this evening, and as tradition, we always start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. And so I would ask that our Boy Scout troop please come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. If you're able, please stand and join us. There's a microphone, right? You want to tell us about your troop?
Well, our troop's from Troop 69 Alpharetta. We go to the Methodist United Church, I think just around the corner from here. And our troop does 12 campouts and meets once a week. That's all I know to say.
All right. Are you prepared to lead us in the pledge?
Yes, I am.
All right, so please take.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Kick off tonight's meeting. We'll begin with a presentation and a proclamation. This is the Life-Saving Award presentation to Eli Haverdink and Adam Penn by Director Robinson, Christine Young, and Director Morgan Rogers.
Good evening. Before I tell you why we're here, I want to call down a couple of gentlemen that we're honoring tonight. So if I can have Eli Haverdink come on down. Yep. Y'all are clapping, you don't even know what he did yet. And Adam Penn. So these two guys are heroes, and I'm going to read you the story and tell you why. On July 28, 2023 at 10:40 a.m., a young man from Milton's Camp Joyful Souls was pulled unresponsive from the leisure pool. Once the whistle blew, pool manager Eli Haverdink and lifeguard instructor Adam Penn sprang to action and began resuscitation efforts on the camper. After providing life-saving measures for several minutes, the young man's breathing and heart rate were restored, and he started becoming responsive. Alpharetta Public Safety took over from there and transported him to the hospital, where he made a successful recovery and returned home. Had it not been for the professional and well-trained lifeguards at the pool, this young man would have encountered a much different outcome. We are thankful that the staff acted professionally and in the way they were trained to save this young man's life. I would say that's worthy of another applause right there. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Miss Lindsay Ross, who is with the American Red Cross, and let her present a couple of very special awards, and I've got a couple here as well.
Alrighty, he already read that citation, so we don't need to have me read the same thing. So, Eli, you are going to be presented with the Life-Saving Award for Professional Responders. Congratulations. You did a terrific job. You used your life-saving measures that you sustained in Adam's class, as well as I'm going to present Adam. And is Alex here as well? Alex, get up. So Alex didn't know he was also going to be honored. So Adam and Alex both taught the class, not just Adam, so we wanted to honor Alex as well. So Adam and Alex, you are presented with the Life-Saving Instructor Award through the Red Cross. And you do get these fabulous certs as well as a lapel pin. So we'll give those to you, but we appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Eli. Congratulations.
And I've got a couple of meritorious awards from our Public Safety Department in recognition of their quick and professional actions that resulted in a life saved while working at Wells Leisure Pool on the 28th of July, 2023.
My name is Christine Young, and I'm the Recreation Services Manager for our department. And the pool is under my supervision. And Kat Abdorzog, who is the manager of the pool, is not here tonight, but I just want to speak out on behalf of our whole team, especially with Kat not being here. And thank you for your incredible service. Adam, every year you train these young guards. If you're guards, raise your hand, please. We've got a lot of guards in the house. Without both of you, Alex, you too, your service in training our guards, we would not have such a well-run pool, and this would have been a very different outcome, like Chief Robeson said. And I just want to thank you for your effort, your time, your professionalism, both of you. And, you know, my office is right next to the pool, so I hear that whistle blow quite a bit during the summer. And every time I hear it, I'm able to jump out and see what goes on. And I just see these guys in action, all of them, and they are fantastic. So we have a very well-trained staff, a professionally run pool, and I thank all of you for your service, all of you who are here. So thank you very much. And guards, come on out. All the guards, come on down. Come on, guards, we want to get a picture. Real quick. Quick, quick, quick. Like you're on the pool deck. Come on, quick. Deanna, do you mind getting a picture? Thank you. Did you want to say anything? James, do you want to?
All right, so we'll move on to the next portion of tonight's meeting, and that begins with the consent agenda. Consent agenda consists of items, City Council meeting minutes from the meeting of November 13th, 2023, the City Council meeting minutes from the meeting of November 27th, 2023. Also includes alcoholic beverage license applications, beginning with PH-23-AB-28, The Two of Us at Cutters LLC, DBA Cutters Cigar and Spirits, 4915 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30004. PH-23-AB-29 Mediterranean Bistro, LLC, DBA Creation Social House, 11500 Webbridge Way, A7, 145, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005. PH-23-AB-30 Yang Suzhang at Avalon LLC, DBA Yang Suzhang Yang, 35 Milton Avenue, Suite C, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009. It also includes the financial management report for the month ending October 31st, 2023, ratification of consent order and final judgment for parcel 32 of McGinnis Ferry Road widening project, the conflict waiver, City of Milton and City of Alpharetta for Big Creek Greenway Connection project, partnered athletic facility use agreements and partnership renewals, including the partnered athletic league facility use agreement for Phoenix Rugby, for Ambush, for AYSA, for NAFL, and for AYBA. Kirsten, do we have any public comment cards this evening?
We do not, sir.
However, if anyone would like to come forward, now's your opportunity to do so. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion for for the consent agenda this evening?
So move. Second.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel, a second by Councilman Dorito to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. I'll note for the record that Councilman Mitchell has joined us now. We'll move on to the new business portion of tonight's meeting, and the first item under new business is the invitation to bid 24-007 Douglas Road drainage improvements. Director Sisevich, you have the floor.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you tonight is the Douglas Road Drainage Improvement Project. This project is adding curb and gutter, storm drain, sidewalk, and widening the beauty strip as well along Douglas Road near the Big Creek there in the Windward area off of South Lake. We advertised for bids in October. We received 6 bids, with Triscapes being the lowest bid. Triscapes has done quite a few work with us the last several months. Most recently, they finished a wall project out on the town green, and they are completing the Mid-Broadwell Park as well. So for their low bid of $417,112.80, and they have 150 days, to complete the project from the notice to proceed.
Thanks, sir. Do we have any questions for Director Sisevich? Thanks, sir. James, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, sir.
Thank you, sir. However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak on this item, now is your chance to do so. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to approve the award of invitation to bid 24-007 for Douglas Road drainage improvements to Triscapes, Inc., with funding in an amount not to exceed $417,112.80, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Dorito, a second by Councilman Mitchell. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the motion for bid 24-007 Douglas Road drainage improvements? All in favor, please vote yes, otherwise vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously. So we'll move on to the next item, which was the invitation to bid 24-008 fiscal year 2024 bridge maintenance. Director Sisevich, once again, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Every other year, the GDOT performs inspections of all our bridges across the city, and then we get almost a repair list, a to-do list, if you want to think of it that way, for us to make repairs throughout the bridges. We have 6 bridges that need repair throughout the city. They're on Windward Parkway, Mansell Road, Haynesbridge Road, and Kimmelbridge Road. They're all somewhat minor repairs. There's nothing that's going to remove the load rating or anything, but this is to keep up with what we have to do so that we don't have a major repair in the future. We only received 1 bid from Asana Construction. We reached out to all the other bidders that we've had on previous projects, and in the past, we've only had basically 2 bidders. The other firm who got the work a couple years ago informed us that they had too much work on their plate and they could not accomplish the work that we would need done because our work was so minor. So that's a good thing that we have minor bridge work. We like that. So we recommend moving forward with Masana at $441,402, and they will complete the project within 180 days.
Do we have any questions for Director Sisevich? Councilman Will?
Pete, how do you feel about that price?
It's a good price. The last time we had a project like this, it was $330,000 back in '21, so it's a 30% increase. We've seen costs increase a lot more than that. And then we also checked the GDOT projects that they have for other areas in the region, and they're right in line.
So you are comfortable that even though we had 1 bid, we're good to go?
Yes, and since it was a bid, they didn't know there was only 1 bid, so they gave the most competitive price they could.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Director Sisevich? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards on this item?
We do not, sir.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak about this, now's your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mayor, I move to approve the award of invitation to bid 24-008 to Masana Construction, Inc. for the performance of the fiscal year 2024 bridge maintenance project in an amount not to exceed $441,402, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Motion from Councilman Brito. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving invitation to bid 24-008, fiscal year 2024 bridge maintenance as outlined in the motion, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote no. And it does pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Pete. So we'll move on to the next item, which is a resolution, the water efficiency model findings. And Ms. Eswine, if you'll go ahead and read the resolution.
A resolution by the Mayor and Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, findings on proposed local amendment to plumbing code for all water efficiency, submission of proposed amendment to the DCA.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Cook.
Thank you, Mayor. This is consideration of local code updates pertaining to indoor plumbing fixtures and outdoor landscape irrigation. And the purpose is just to preserve water resources. And this is also to comply with the state-created Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have about the changes.
Do we have any questions for Director Cook on this item? Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak on this item, now is your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I'd offer a motion tonight to approve a resolution authorizing the transmittal of the model findings resolution and local amendments to the plumbing code to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs as presented this evening.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Will. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the resolution regarding water efficiency model findings, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote no. And it does pass unanimously as well. Next item up is the intergovernmental agreement, Fulton County Animal Services. Mr. Lagerbloom, I believe you have this item.
I do, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is the annual renewal of an IGA with Fulton County for animal control services. We pay on a percentage basis of the calls for service that are estimated for our city. This year, they're estimating that we would represent 1.57% of the calls for service in Fulton County, or 273 individual calls. Calls don't necessarily come in the form of responses, but come in the form of contacts to animal control. This IGA would say that Fulton County would conduct animal control services in the city of Alpharetta through a contract vendor, which in this case is Lifeline Animal Project. They will respond to calls for service in the city depending on level of severity, somewhere between 45 minutes and 24 hours, depending on where it falls in the spectrum of the different types of calls. It calls for them to provide rabies control in the county, investigate cruelty complaints, and to operate an animal shelter. This animal control would be responding to both emergencies and non-emergencies. As you know, animal control is something we either have to do or contract for. And I hate to make a recommendation that says that I really don't want to do this, but I really don't want to get into the business of animal control either. I don't know that we see the responses that are listed here, 273 responses to the city of Alpharetta. You would think at some point we would see that response in the city. And I can't say that I've ever seen a response in the city, and I've confirmed in talking with the chief that we don't see that type of level of service. Having said that, for $190,606 in a year, I can't make a recommendation to you either that we get in the animal control business, because that would require opening up a shelter and paying those expenses that would way outpace that $190,606. What I can tell you is in this fiscal year, that's an annualized number. In this fiscal year, we anticipate the cost to be $145,303. Of that, $100,000 is already budgeted. Should we need the $45,303, I'll need to bring back to you all in the mid-year budget an adjustment in that dollar amount. We think that we've seen a fairly significant dollar increase in this IGA this year because of the opening of the new shelter that we've seen in South Fulton County. That is a new facility, and it was indicated that these costs are going up to pay for that facility. I have been asked about some services, and I just want to put this on the record for us to know that we're thinking about it and researching it, that Lifeline, the contractor, Lifeline Animal Project, does indicate on their website that they provide in certain places free veterinary service, free food, free transportation, free pet supplies, and they indicate that they provide that to only 7 zip codes in the city of Atlanta, where they're targeted on some lower income neighborhoods in providing these free services. So I do want to find out if the $190,606 that we pay is also going to subsidize free and offset cost of service that's not the city of Alpharetta, because I think that there's areas that we might want to push back on that in the future if, in fact, it does. I can't tell you tonight that it does. I just haven't been able to confirm that yet. But I just want to put that out there to say that we're not immune to knowing that some of those services are going on and quite probably are being paid for out of the funds that we and the other cities in Fulton County contribute to offset the costs of operating this animal control through Lifeline Animal Project. With that, my recommendation is that you all approve this and we continue with them for one more year. We, with the other North Fulton cities, would like to keep our options open to explore. We did contact our adjacent counties to the north and to the northeast, northwest of us, just to see if there was an opportunity to have services provided by counties that are outside of, that are not necessarily the county we're in, but counties we're adjacent to. It doesn't look like that opportunity presented itself as a true opportunity this year. So we'll continue to do that. This number was a bit of a shock to us when we saw it last year. We were barely over 50,000, and when you see it jump to 190, it makes you ask questions. But I'll end by saying my recommendation tonight is that we move forward and approve this for the next calendar year.
Any questions for Mr. Lagerman? Councilman Mitchell?
Thank you for that resounding approval. I'm teasing. In the past, we've asked for accountability for the amount of calls. Have they given us anything where if they rescue an animal or take one to the shelter, there should be some simple way a text is sent to our city saying, we captured an animal or a dog or whatever, and has any of that happened?
I did it last year, right after the first of the year. I filed a record request with Fulton County asking for copies of the reports that existed based upon our calls for service. I did receive reports. What they generally consisted of were contacts made of people to animal control, but not necessarily animal control responding into the city. I will do that again. I may not do it in the form of a records request because I seemed to upset the county administrator when I did it that way. But I will make a phone call right after the first of the year to get 2023's reports so that I can compare them against what we paid in 23. And then we'll have 2 years in a row. So that's a long answer. The shorter answer to your question is yes, they do send reports, but it doesn't really show that there's responses in our city.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Lagerblum? Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. It's something that's got to be done one way or another. We certainly don't want to have to try to start that off by scratch if we don't have to. Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards on this item?
No, sir.
However, if you'd like to come forward, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I offer a motion tonight to approve the intergovernmental agreement for the provision of animal control services between Fulton County, Georgia, and the city of Alpharetta, Georgia, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents as presented to us this evening.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Have a second by Councilman Will, and that was to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Fulton County Animal Services. That's outlined in the motion. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Back to what Councilman Mitchell said, from an accountability, 273, is that what you said? Calls for services?
That's what they estimate, yes.
Estimate.
And that number's actually come down. So typically those numbers go up. It hasn't come down much, but from 22 to 23, 23 into 24, that number, I'm not exactly sure how they make that estimation, but that would suggest that 66% of the days in the year we're having some interaction with animal control. I just find that
That's just, I mean.
hard to believe.
I've seen that truck maybe twice in my 8 years here, up here. That's just, anyways, I'd like to continue to pursue what other options might be throughout the year, so when it comes up again. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve, please vote yes, otherwise vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up is the resolution for the City of Alpharetta Communication Plan. Ms. Eswine, if you'll read the resolution, we'll give Mr. Drinkard a few moments to get prepared.
A resolution by the Mayor and Council of the City of Alpharetta, Georgia, adopting the 2024 City of Alpharetta Communications and Engagement Plan.
Thank you very much. Mr. Drinkard, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. Mayor and Council, during the 2023 planning retreat, you adopted as one of your strategic priorities, communications that connect. And you charged staff with creating a communications plan and a crisis communications plan. So I begin tonight, I'd like to start by thanking you, all of you, for recognizing and understanding the strategic importance of communications to our organization and how we function. Since that time, over the past few months, our communications team, including Deanna McKay, the newest member of my team, and Charlotte Christian down in Kathy's team in community development, have been working to develop the plans that you requested, and we never like to do the minimum, so went a little further, created a set of media guidelines, and also updated our brand standards. In combination, those elements form our communications and engagement plan that was delivered to you last month, and which we present tonight for your consideration. That plan is designed to link organization priorities and communications activities, help the city maintain a consistent brand identity, voice, and message, ensure that our program is based on effective insight and understanding of our target audiences, and ensure that messages and activities are not controlled or driven by who can shout the loudest. It moves us from the decentralized tactical approach that we've had in the past to a coordinated strategic program that we believe will more effectively inform and engage citizens and position the city of Alpharetta in the marketplace. From defining key target audiences using psychographics and market segmentation principles to identifying key themes for our messaging, from creating a framework for communicating in a crisis to updating our approved color palette, the plan encompasses quite a bit. Probably, well, not probably, definitely a lot more than you probably would want me to try to cover here tonight. So in the interest of time, I'll simply end my comments there and make myself available for any questions or to cover any topics you would like me to address specifically.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Drinkard? Thank you, James. I appreciate your efforts on this.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards?
No, sir, we do not.
But if you'd like to come forward and speak, now is your opportunity. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yeah, I'll give a motion to approve the City of Alpharetta's communication plan and the adoption of the resolution as stated by Mr. Drinkard.
I have a motion by Councilman Mitchell. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Dorito. Any discussion? I'll just note that we've been so busy over the last few years getting stuff done that one of the things that we've really noticed is that we haven't been able to tell the story as effectively because we're too busy getting stuff done as an organization. And I want to appreciate Mr. Drinkard's efforts and also his new assistants because I've seen a dramatic improvement in the communication strategies and the effectiveness. So thank you all. That being said, all those in favor of the motion to approve the resolution for the Alpharetta Communication Plan, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote accordingly. and it does pass unanimously. Next item up will be the 2024 Fulton County Arts and Culture Grant. Director Rogers, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, council. Tonight, we are asking for approval to apply for the Fulton Arts Cultural Grant in the amount of $20,000 for our continuing music match program. We have applied for and received this grant 4 times in the past, and we're seeking approval to apply for the grant. Be glad to answer any questions you may have about this grant at this time.
Do we have any questions? Councilman Will?
Director Morgan, hey, I'm curious, when we apply for it, do we know where the money's going yet, or is it kind of there for us to decide with what to do later?
No, if we get the grant, it's going to go for the music match program.
So it's just the music match program?
Music match, absolutely. It would be used, the money we get from Fulton County will be used 100% for the music match program, should we get the grant.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions for Director Rogers? Thank you, sir. Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards on this item?
No, sir, we do not.
If you'd like to come forward and speak on this grant application, now's your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I ask that council approve the Recreation, Parks, and Cultural Services Department to apply for the 2024 Fulton County Arts and Culture Grant in the amount of $20,000 with a match of $12,000 from the City of Alpharetta, funding the fiscal year 24 and 25 from the fiscal year 24 and 25 operating budgets, and for the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
We have a motion by Councilman Hypes, second by Councilman Will. That was to approve the 2024 Fulton County Arts and Culture Grant application. Any discussion? Councilman Mitchell.
Yes, I think this is a good sign, and I think it shows solid communication between the Fulton County Cultural Arts Council and our city. So it's improved over the years. There was a time when we didn't get any money back for our arts here in Alpharetta, and it was dispersed throughout the county. And so the fact that we're applying for this and we've had it for 4 years now is a good sign and a good direction. So I appreciate your leadership and your staff's leadership in this. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the grant application as outlined in the motion, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote no. And it does pass unanimously. Director Rogers, your next item is the request for proposal 24-104 and contract award for the Mid-Broadwell Park Playground.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're here tonight to ask for the award of the contract to Compan Incorporated for the construction of the playground at Mid-Broadwell Park in the amount of $159,953.26. We are in the last leg of the development of Mid-Broadwell Park. It's been more of a marathon than it has been a sprint for this particular park, but we are now really have everything in there but the playground. So this is the last of the elements. This particular playground project started back in 2019 when we had a public meeting at Mid-Broadwell, the site of Mid-Broadwell Park. And we had a group of kids that brought a storyboard that showed what they wanted the playground in the park to look like. And we took that storyboard and used that throughout the process. We found that we had $160,000 designated for the playground in this park. We put out a request for proposals. We had 5 playground companies that bid on that particular project, and Compan scored the highest. They were significantly higher than any of the others. We're real happy with the look of the playground. It is a very natural-looking playground, and it has a water feature. One of the things that the kids at the public input meeting were really concerned that they have a water feature. So we'll have an area for 2 to 5 as well as an area for 5 to 12, and we expect, should this be approved tonight, to be opening that park in the first quarter of next year, hopefully like in early March. Be glad to answer any questions you may have about this particular proposal.
Any questions for Director Rogers? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Van Horn, any public comment cards?
No, sir.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak on it, now's your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, ask the council approve, make a motion for council to approve the award of requests for proposal 24-104 and the contract to Compan Inc. for the construction of the playground at Mid-Broadwell Park in an amount not to exceed $159,953.26, and for the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
I have a motion by Councilman Hypes, a second by Councilman Will. Any discussion? Morgan, we're just looking forward to getting that park open in the spring.
We all are, Mr. Mayor.
Amen. Thank you. All those in favor of the motion to approve the request for proposal 24-104 as outlined in the motion, please vote yes, otherwise vote no. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up will be the Memorandum of Understanding for Home by Dark. Director Rogers, once again, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're asking tonight for consideration of approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Alpharetta and Home by Dark so that they can produce the 2024 Brook Street Park Concert Series. That would include talent, the production, sound, lighting, public relations, and marketing. We first, in 2018, started the Brook Street Park Concert Series. We used Home by Dark. Since then, this particular Memorandum of Understanding is an annual MOU that we do with them. We are not asking for any additional money. We're not going to have any additional concerts. It's just a yearly Memorandum of Understanding that we do. We pay $10,000 per concert to Home by Dark for them to put that on. We have $30,000 of that in our operating budget, and the other $30,000 comes from the Convention and Visitors Bureau as a sponsor for the concert series. So we're just asking for approval of the MOU tonight. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Councilman Hypes.
Has Home by Dark increased their costs since they started this about
No,
five, 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, no, sir, they have not. It's the same. The price has been the same since 2018, and they continue to deliver just an outstanding concert series.
Any other questions for Director Rogers? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Van Horn, do we have any public comment cards on Home by Dark?
No, sir, we do not.
But if you'd like to come forward and speak, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I ask the council approve the memorandum of understanding between City of Alpharetta and Home by Dark for talent production, sound, lighting, public relations, and marketing for the 2024 calendar year at Brook Street Park Concert Series, and in an amount not to exceed $30,000, correct? Yes, that was the dollar amount.
So to be politically correct, is $60,000, but $30,000 of that comes from the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Yes. But the appropriation from the city would be $30,000.
$30,000, correct.
And for the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
Yes, sir. We do a lot of really cool stuff as a city here in Alpharetta. And, you know, everybody's got their pick of, you know, what's their favorite or what's in their top 5. And I will just tell you, Director Rogers and those who are listening in, I see more positive feedback from these Home by Dark concerts in Brook Street Park than just about any regular event that we put on. And I think what makes it so special is, you know, you run into neighbors who just set up their chairs out there in the lawn, and there's all the just, you know, discussion and intermingling amongst folks prior to the start of the concert, and everybody's got a big smile when they leave. So kudos to your department and for our city for taking this on, because it's just truly a special thing about Alpharetta that we do this. So.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Home by Dark? Please vote yes, otherwise vote no. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up will be the memorandum of understanding, Parks Without Borders for the City of Johns Creek and City of Alpharetta. Director Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're asking tonight for approval of the memorandum of understanding with Johns Creek, known as Parks Without Borders. This particular memorandum of understanding is an ongoing relationship we've had with Johns Creek for several years. It allows residents of Alpharetta to register for programs in Johns Creek at the resident rate, and allows Johns Creek residents to register in Alpharetta programs at the resident rate. And those include the youth softball program, youth baseball, youth soccer, and youth lacrosse. And it is a reciprocal agreement between the two cities, and both cities get a lot of good feedback from this particular program. And there is no one particular city that's having more residents go across the border than the other. So we're just asking for approval for this program to continue to allow people to register at the programs that are convenient for their family. Be glad to answer any questions you may have about this.
Thanks, sir.
Parks Without Borders.
Do we have any questions? Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Van Horn, any public comment cards?
There are not, sir.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak about Parks Without Borders, going on. So we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I ask the council approve the 2024 Parks Without Borders Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Alpharetta and the City of Johns Creek, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Second. I have a motion by Councilman Hines, second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to point out that I was at one time was liaison to Parks and worked on this with Morgan, and learned a lot. And some people don't really understand. It's not just a matter of convenience. It's also a matter of being able to field certain teams, certain parts of the city that did not have enough kids to maybe fill out a girls' youth softball team, but between the folks on the border in Johns Creek. And then we also have participation percentages for citizens in the city. So the city's well looked after, and the ones we have now with Milton and Johns Creek, and maybe Roswell, I don't remember the south side, but they really benefit the programs. They really do. They're not hindering, they're not keeping our kids from playing. It really makes us that much stronger in our Parks and Rec program. So I appreciate you doing this again.
Councilman Hines?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Director Rogers more philosophically that, I appreciate you being proactive to find ways to work with our neighbors rather than compete with our neighboring jurisdictions. And so when you work with them and our kids benefit, that's all anybody can ask for. So I appreciate it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the Memorandum of Understanding, Parks Without Borders, with the City of Johns Creek and City of Alpharetta, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote no. And it does pass unanimously. So that'll wrap up the new business portion of tonight's meeting, and we'll move on to public comment. So if you have any public comments that you'd like to take at this opportunity, now is your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do we have any reports? Mayor Pro Tem?
It's hot off the press today. I know some people will be excited to know that Golden Corral is actually coming back. Since their departure during COVID, they have had a change of heart, and they're going to crank up the fryers and get back to work. So for those of you that are so inclined, it should be probably just after first of the year. And a great chocolate fountain and everything.
Councilman Dorito?
Thank you, Mayor. Just two quick topics. It's unfortunate Councilman Binder didn't attend this evening. I believe it's his last public meeting before leaving the council. And I just wanted to publicly acknowledge his service to the city. I think 2 terms? Donald, yeah, 2 terms. So 8 years in serving the city of Alpharetta and its residents, its businesses, and visitors. And I applaud anyone who takes on a role of public service and It's not an easy job all the time. We tend to get a lot more complaints than we do applauding. But that's why we're here. But you have to love public service, and I look at the Boy Scouts out there, and some things I know they're learning in being a Boy Scout. They'll probably end up doing something in public service in the future because of your experience with the Boy Scouts. So it was great seeing you here this evening and doing the pledge with us. The other thing I want to thank Councilman Binder for his years of service to the city, and really just thank him for his service, his time away from family. Just like many of us up here, we all work very closely together to continue to enhance the quality of life for all our residents here in Alpharetta, and he certainly played a part in that for 8 years, so I wanted to publicly thank him for that. The second thing I wanted to do, I had the honor of attending the menorah lighting in the city about a week ago, a little over a week ago. And it just makes me think, you know, you look around City Center, you look at the festive lighting, the Christmas tree lighting that many of us attended as well. This is such a great city. So as we close out 2023, it's a thriving city. I just came back from New York City visiting family over the weekend, and I look around at some of the issues, and obviously it's a much bigger city, but I look at Alpharetta as almost an island unto itself. We have a very safe environment thanks to our public safety department. Our roads and infrastructure are constantly being taken care of as reflected in some of the bids we awarded this evening. And everybody from professional staff to the governing body here works very closely together in concert to do the best job we can with the financial wherewithal that the taxpayers present to us to continue making this city, I think, one of the best, if not the best in the country. So as we head toward Christmas here, I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a healthy, Happy New Year, and hopefully a continued improved future for Alpharetta going into 2024.
Councilman Will?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just have two quick reports. First of all, I wanted to recognize FAE Sean Webster, one of our firefighters. FAE, by the way, stands for Fire Apparatus Engineer, for anybody who doesn't know, because I had to ask. And basically that means he drives one of the big trucks. So he's the guy you wave at when he goes by. He just retired after 19 years of service with the city, and wanted to wish him well and thank him for his service to Alpharetta. And second, we just finished our last firefighter school and graduated 5 firefighters into the city of Alpharetta, which my understanding is brings us up pretty close to full capacity with a few more folks headed into the next school. So Director Robson's done a good job bringing firefighters in, and it looks like we are locked and loaded and ready to go if you got a problem. So that was it.
Thanks, sir. Councilman Hypes?
Yeah, I'd like to also take an opportunity to publicly thank Councilman Binder, who's, I think people on that side of the dais know him as Councilman Binder. I know him as Jason. I remember the day he walked into the Rotary Club as a younger man and made his imprint on the city as a Rotarian. And, I remember when Jason ran, he's a dad and a father, and he had a heart for our park system. And, he told me that you got to have a why. And I think all of us up here have a why for why we want to do this. But his why, as I understood it, was he had a heart for the park system, and he's left the park system in a far better place than it was when he first came on the council. So appreciate his service. Wish he was here, we could tell him, but I'll find him and track him down and tell him how much I appreciate what he's done for the city and wish him well in his future endeavors.
Councilman Mitchell?
Yeah, I also wanted to follow up on that vein of thought with Jason. I remember seeing him at the food truck event, and I knew he was real involved with the Rotary, and I also knew he had a passion for the city. And I was trying to talk him into running for council because those are the type of people we need, both men and women, to run for council. And Jason, I don't think we would have these 7 parks without Jason's involvement, the one we just voted for. So if you have a park within 2 miles of your home or a future park to come to your home, Jason Binder is the one who spearheaded that and led that effort. We all got behind it and were supportive, but I can't thank Jason enough for, he was riding around trying to find land that was still at a value, and this was not easy to do, that we could fit in into our budget. And so I think children for future generations, if they go to a local park within a 2-mile radius of their home, can look to Jason Binder and say, thank you for what you did for our city. And so if you see Jason, he's not one for a lot of accolades, and so he's not here tonight, but I wish he were. And but if you see him or feel the need, please email him and let him know how much you appreciate him, because it is a service, and he's given a lot of time and effort to our city. And so, Jason, here's to you, and I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Those who are celebrating Hanukkah right now, a Happy Hanukkah. And we live in such a fractured world right now. I don't think it's been this rough going into Christmas since World War II. Just today, North Korea set off another missile, and we hear of wars all over the world and stuff. So if you're a praying type person, pray for the peace of the world, not just for Alpharetta, but for Israel and also Palestine. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever applies to you. So thank you.
Any other comments? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final meeting for 2023. Thank you for joining us here. It has been a very special year. We've done a lot as a community. We're very proud of the achievements of our staff. As elected officials, we rely on them to execute on the vision that our residents share with us and we share with our staff. And we're very proud of the accomplishments that our staff has been able to achieve working with those of you in the private sector. When you do look around the world and the country, you sense that Alpharetta is a special place. We don't take that for granted on this dais, and we hope that none of our residents take that for granted. It takes a lot of time and energy on all of our parts, but we are blessed. And I tell people quite often, if you're living in the city of Alpharetta, you're among the most blessed people on the face of the earth. And I don't say that braggingly. Look at it, and it's objectively true. Most people around the world do not live in the environments and have the necessities and the luxuries that we share in this community. I'm very proud to be your mayor, and I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season, and get ready because 2024 is going to rock as well. Thank you all. With that being said, don't believe we have an executive session this evening.
We do not.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Will, second by Councilman Mitchell. All those approving of closing the final meeting of 2023, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. God bless you all.
Mr. Mayor.